All right. Welcome to the episode of Music and Noise. This is actually our first podcast episode. You've probably seen us do other things just like the Hot Seat, which is live interviews at events like Army of Hardcore, and we've done with Odyssey and a couple others that I can't really remember at the moment. But but I'm happy to announce that we are finally starting this project. After so long, after really like revising everything we've done, I'm happy to say that this is our first official podcast.
Woo-woo.
And I'm happy to say that you're our first guest. So
thanks for having me.
yeah, well, I just want to say that I guess I just want to introduce you first of all. We have here a neo-acid, or how would you even describe that? Neo-acid rave? I don't even know because it's so new.
Yeah.
So it's neo-acid rave, correct?
That's what I usually say I play, yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right.
Neo-rave,
so,
acid.
Neo-acid rave?
Neo-acid.
See, now you messed me up.
Neo-rave, neo-acid, hard techno.
I mean, all right. So she's a neo-acid rave DJ, producer. She's also a friend of mine that I've just recently met last year, and we've gone through a crazy adventure together. Mm-hmm. You know, overall, she's from Los Angeles. Well, she's originally from Colorado, correct?
True.
But she considers herself a person from LA.
Yeah, I do.
Right? Okay,
yeah,
perfect. And I mean, overall, like you've been dominating the underground scene for the past 8 months and hard. And I don't really know about beforehand because I wasn't like really there for it. But overall, like I've been very, very honored to like have the privilege to even have like I don't even know how to say this, like be your agent or your manager. It's just so weird for me to even say those things.
It's cool. No, that's exactly what it is. It's been really fun.
Oh, I mean, I guess just to get right into it, we have here CASKA, also known. I mean, your real name is Cassidy Crawford.
Yeah.
Did I pronounce your last name correct?
No, it's Cray or forward.
My bad. I forgot it.
Yeah, you got it.
All right. To start off, why did you want it to be? Well, who's CASKA in the first place? Let's start with there.
CASKA is. We're gonna have to edit this a lot.
It's fine. It's fine.
Okay. CASKA is my techno creation. Mm-hmm. It's like my project and brand that I play. Just the techno music that I really like.
Do you think that like the music that you play describes who you are?
I think it describes who I am right now. I think I keep growing as an artist and keep discovering new music and other new artists that just get me really excited and inspired to keep creating and playing out.
And where did you start off as far as like DJing? Like what music genre did you start off with?
So I learned how to DJ during the pandemic because I was making music before, but I was like, I have to figure out how to play this music. And I was making drum and bass.
Right.
I really liked neurofunk, especially.
Neurofunk? I never even heard of that.
Probably, have you heard of NOIZE?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They make a lot of neurofunk, but
that's like a subgenre within drum and bass.
It's like hard and has a lot of like the Reese and like the sounds.
Okay. It's like more. Is it like considered like more melodic? I guess. No?
Not like Liquid or something. It's like I don't know, just a lot harder and a lot more aggressive sounding.
Right.
So I like Joe Ford or Teddy Killers. Those are
Teddy Killers sounds like a pretty badass name.
They're pretty badass. So I was like, I have to make music that just makes me go.
Make that bass face.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel that.
And then, so I took a class DJing through Berklee College of Music.
Okay, online?
Yeah. And learned how to DJ and played like melodic house and drum and bass.
I don't think you're too fond of that, were you?
I like it a lot. And I still do.
Okay.
I listen to a lot of melodic house. But so I started streaming on Twitch because that was like the cool thing to do during the pandemic. And I played like one house day, one drum and bass day, and one techno day.
Before you go on, when did you start DJing? What year?
2020.
Okay, so this is like right when COVID hit.
Yeah,
right? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was playing house and then drum and bass and then techno. And always techno was my favorite day. And I always look forward to that day the most. And I found acid techno. And that was it. I was like,
You're in love, huh?
This is what it's about. And I don't know. I just, for some reason, I was like, I can't make acid techno like what I really like. So I'm just going to stick with like drum and bass or melodic stuff.
And when did like the whole like, when did you go full into techno?
I think there was just a point where I was playing small gigs and I was playing house gigs, and then there was a gig that I played and they're like, you can play whatever you want. I was like, all right, I'm gonna play techno. And that was so much fun, like way more fun than I'd ever had DJing. It was just like, it felt like I fell into what I needed to be doing.
Yeah.
Just reliving that moment, just like, yeah.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I think that's what I try to do. Or I mean, the whole point of me doing this podcast is for you to find like the inspiration again through the conversation. Because I mean, I guess you could like relive it just thinking about it, but just like being able to talk about it and someone listening, you're like, okay, like you're like in your head as you're talking about it, you're like reliving those moments.
Also, it's just like scary to talk about it. Just talking about these things is hard because I don't put it into words very often.
I think that's a good way to look at it. You know, I mean, I think it's super important. I mean, yeah, for you to play your music and for you to show up at events and like showcase, but also like being able to talk about things and express yourself is extremely important. You know, I mean, and especially like this, that way people can understand like, you know, how did you grow up? Like, where did you come from? Maybe even like, you know, you end up finding new connections through this.
Yeah. You
know, but overall, like for me, like I like listening to these stories because it kind of tells me that everybody has to put this hard work, you know, and sometimes these stories like help me push forward in my own life, you know, and even though, yeah, I'm not a DJ, I'm not a producer, like an artist. I could be, yes, but I'm like so divided. Have so many other things in my life.
You are an artist.
I guess essentially, you know, doing all this and and part of my photography.
That's art.
But I guess like I think like hearing these stories from you guys, it helps me get motivated to still become an artist, you know, because there's a lot of like dips in these valleys where just like you're just, how the fuck am I gonna get out of here, you know?
Yeah.
But it just takes one person to tell you it in one specific way for you to understand. And that's where like some people, you know, having this conversation could help them out, especially if they're like a beginning artist, you know, growing up, or maybe they're doing the same event as you and you're like, well, I'm not going to get anywhere because I'm just doing these events. You know, like, no, you just stay consistent, do your craft, like find your way within like this niche scene, because it's very like, especially in the techno scene, it's so like, you know, it might look big, but like once you start getting there, it starts narrowing down little by little, and it's very like tough to get into the bigger ones. But just stay consistent and, you know, revolve yourself around the right people, and I think, you know, you definitely leave your footstep in LA or wherever you're at.
True, I agree.
You know, I mean, as far as music, when do you like what time in life do you feel like music has helped you the most?
I mean, every day.
What's one story that you could share where you're like, all right, well, this is where I find motivation, or like maybe you found like a situation where you heard a song and you're like, oh, this made me understand what I was going through. Now I can like kind of go forward.
I mean, I listen to music every day, all the time, constantly. And it's been there for me like during good times and bad times. Like even just sitting down and playing the piano has always been like a little bit of like an anxiety relief. And not to get too dark, but like
no, it's fine. Get dark. It's fine.
Get dark. Turn off the lights. Yeah. I was in a really tough place when I first graduated high school.
Right.
And just felt really hopeless. And I think the music, as lame and cliche as it sounds, like that got me through. Right. I was just like listening to music and making music and being inspired. And
I mean, I completely understand, you know, as far as like music could transport you to other places, you know, and it's I've had situations where wasn't able to hear music as much, but you know, just even being able to like sing to lyrics that I remembered in those times, where I'm just like, oh fuck, like it kind of like helped me through it. It brought back memories, you know. I mean, there's times where let's say like if you put like some song, I mean, I think this is just like an experiment for everybody, you know, go outside one day and like put some songs from like the 80s or the 70s or wherever, and like go outside and walk around, like go to LA and walk around, you know, and just like pretend you're walking around the 70s, and slowly but surely like your imagination starts going there, and you're like, holy shit, like the music transports you to places where like you're just like, dude, this is so. Because one day I was working out, but I just threw on like some old school like 80s like hip hop, some like barely that beginning stuff, and I'm just like, oh, like this is where it's at, like Grandmaster Funk shit, like I'm just like, oh, and I just started like thinking about it, imagining while I'm working out. I'm like, I could just imagine people from the 80s or 90s working out to this music, looking up at the same sky I'm looking at now, and I'm just like, I don't know, I just like, that's the way I think about music, you know. Even when I went out like last week to Chibala, like on the way back, once I got, or even when I was there, once I saw like flatland, once I saw country, like once I saw the desert, like, oh shit, like I started thinking about these were the same lands that Indians crossed, like that cowboys rode across. Like this isn't just something that we live within the past like 50 years or whatever. Like no, like this shit's been here, and people have roamed this shit for a long time. So when you look into the abyss at the desert, you're just like, wow, like there is no water that direction, but how far do I have to walk until I get to water? Like there's nothing telling you where you need to go, you know? Yeah. So it's just like, for me, it's very like impactful when I got there, and I'm like immediately threw on like some country music, because I'm like, I kind of like felt like, all right, put some country, and this is like something people would listen to, you know. I'm just like, all right, and then I started getting into the mood. I'm like, oh, maybe I could live in Texas, you know, maybe because you know, I start going through this whole process, but like just because music takes me there.
Yeah.
But I think like music is very important to people, and when people tell me that they don't like music, which very few people say that, but like I'm like, you're fucking weird. You know.
One time, somebody was trying to hit on me.
Right.
And I was like, I'm a musician, and they were like, I don't like music, and I was like, why? Like that doesn't. You don't have to include this, but
no, it's fine. I mean,
I was like, how do you think that's gonna work out? Like,
I know, a musician, person who doesn't like music. What are you trying to change me? You know, but I understand that. Even like music in relationships, it's just like, I'm pretty sure you have a song, and I'm pretty sure everybody has a song where you're like, holy shit, this is a song like my fucking 6th grade boyfriend dedicated to me, you know, and you just remember it because it was like a cute moment in your life.
Yeah. Or like, I was listening to this on repeat when I was in this place, and then you listen to it and you're like, oh yeah, that's how I was feeling at that time.
Even when you're like in love, like you might not notice it, but people might notice it. Like even when I was growing up and I was like super like in love with my girlfriend in high school, like my mom would be like, "Oh, you're in love," and I'm like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "I could just hear it in your music that you're listening to right now." I'm like, "Yo, chill, like I didn't know that." Yeah, like fuck, you know, it was a little embarrassing at the moment, but like it kind of tells
Should
like,
be embarrassed.
you know, like at least like for me at the moment, I didn't understand that that's the best way. Personally, I could express myself. Sometimes if you tell me like, or if you ask me, "Hey, what type of music are you listening to?" That's usually the fucking attitude I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like if I'm in like listening to some like very like, you know, the Beatles or some reggae, like I'm in a very like good mood, you know. But like if I'm listening to like my deathcore, metalcore, all that shit, like that means I'm like I'm angry, I'm very aggressive, or like that's the music I listen to when I go to the gym. So like don't like talk to me when I'm at the gym.
Quit bragging about the gym, bro.
Well, I'm just saying, just flexing.
Just like throw it in every 5 minutes when I go to the gym.
Yeah. I think it's the first time I bring it up.
No, it's the second time.
Wow, you're counting.
It's a competition.
I guess so.
Just kidding.
but yeah,
So
just
nervous.
like don't worry about it. You're doing great. You're doing great. You're not even shaking.
I'm like shivering when I get nervous. I shiver, like my mouth shakes.
You get like cold shivers and stuff.
Are you sure we can't do like an interpretive dance instead?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay, fine.
But yeah. I mean, you could like loosen up a little bit. I mean, you want some Skittles?
Sure.
Right.
Thank you.
I thought you're getting. Just saying.
I just had to make sure I had one of each color.
Okay, so back into this interview.
Welcome back.
Came back from our quick Skittle break. You probably stole most of my Skittles.
We're not gonna talk about that.
Bruh.
What's your favorite Skittle?
I say green.
Green.
Lime, bro. Is it lime?
Probably.
Yep, it's lime. I don't know. I like lime. Any like lime ice cream? Fire. You ever had a lime ice cream? Lime water or lemon water? Fire. Lemonade? Fire.
That's not even lime.
You don't think you make lime with... Wait, you don't think you make lemonade with lime?
No.
What do you make lemonade with?
Lemons? Who are you?
You did... Why is it... I mean... I was say, why is it yellow?
Why is it yellow? Who are you?
Hey, chill. Chill.
All right.
But what's your favorite Skittle?
It's okay that you're wrong, but
Okay.
I have to get one of every color and then just toss them back.
Toss them and then have a rainbow.
Yeah.
Just have a rainbow in your mouth real quick.
Yeah.
Nice. But
But also maybe orange. I don't know.
like okay, so we just talked about music in essence, like what you produce, what you make. I mean, let's talk about New Rave a little bit.
Okay.
Because New Rave is so new into the industry in general. I feel like since you, Claus, Rewilder, which Rewilder is very, excuse me.
Gross.
Rewilder is barely defining his sound to say, but I think you and Anna are the leading
Claus.
figures. I mean, sorry, yeah, you and Claus, sorry. God damn, stupid Coke. All right. You and Claus are like the leading figures of neo rave in the US in general. So like, what do you feel about the genre right now? Like, where do you think it's at, or what are your thoughts on it in general?
I think neo rave is like the most exciting thing happening in techno right now to me.
Ooh, yes.
It's really an honor to be at the forefront of this movement that's like really like so prevalent in Europe. Not so much here, like which is cool. Like, and I think when I play it, people aren't expecting it, but they love it.
Yes.
So that's a good feeling.
And people, I mean, I have a couple of my friends that don't know nothing about, they know something about techno, but they don't know like all these other subgenres, and they're like, oh, this thing sounds like hardstyle. I'm like, no, it's not hardstyle, bro. It's neo rave.
But like it takes influences from hardstyle and hard dance and
gabber, like DMB,
hard techno, drum bass.
Yeah.
That's why I like it. Yeah.
You know, it has all that mixed together. When I try describing it to people and I write, like, and I'm texting it or writing it down or just talking about it, it's like, how do they put all that together? And like, trust me, it sounds great. It's amazing.
Yeah.
You know, and then maybe some tracks are more heavily influenced
by one or another.
by another genre or the other. But overall, like, if it doesn't, like, I think between our group of friends with Danny and Claus, you and myself, we've talked about it a couple of times. It's just like, it's just a mixture of everything. If it doesn't sound like techno, it's probably neo rave. You know, or if it doesn't sound like hard techno, it's probably neo rave, because there's other techno genres that don't sound nothing like neo rave. But that's only if you're getting into the nitty gritty, which I'm slowly becoming a snob.
Ooh.
Which, like, I do like, but also don't like. I mean, because music with noise is like, that's all.
You're supposed to do everything.
Yeah, you know. So it's just like, I'm not gonna judge you, but I'm also not gonna like.
I'm not gonna judge you out loud, but I am gonna judge you.
I'm gonna judge you when I get in my car. Trust me. When I'm by myself, trust me. I'm not gonna judge him if
I know
you
you're.
don't judge him.
Wait, huh? I know you're always judging me.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Even when you mess up live, I'm just like, oh, I caught that one.
I never have ever made a mistake.
Dude.
Like doing anything.
Stop it. That's like saying your chakras are aligned.
My chakras are like fucked up.
I think that's why we're cool.
Yeah.
I don't get along with people who are so straight like that. I'm just like,
oh, I'm not straight.
I need some fucked up shit to happen in your life. I need some fucked up shit to be happening in your life for us to be cool.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
You know, but.
And I make mistakes.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
With everything I do.
I agree with.
I don't think there's been a set that I have started where I'm like, how do I use my headphones?
I know. I mean, usually before your sets, you're like really nervous. You're always like, you're fucking around with me a lot. You start poking me and stuff. That's how I know you're nervous, because you don't know what to do. You're like,
what do I do with my hands?
Yeah, you're like, I need to do something, you know. Yeah. But I mean, I get it. You know, I try to like just
better get used to it.
Get through it, you know.
Oh, you just trudge through it.
Well, I guess
you live in the hard life.
So people can understand a little bit more. I'm Cassidy's agent. I help her. I'm her leading agent, and then Danny from Rave Train, he is the manager of the agency she's a part of. So overall, like, we're all like a pretty big project together, you know. But that's why I'm out. If you ever see her, I'm usually there just supporting, even though or just taking pictures sometimes.
Unless you're sick.
Unless I'm sick, quote unquote. But
tired of Cassidy.
Dude, that one time I really was sick. I was like dying, and it was so weird. It was just like I fell asleep for an hour and woke up, and I was like dying.
I'm so glad you didn't die.
Yeah, well, point, but I almost did. I like hope is like.
Sorry for laughing. Like I almost died.
No, but and when it comes to music,
yeah.
Where were your original like origins from? Like where did it start? Like what's one song growing up, or what genre of music growing up that you remember the most? That really like you're like, oh, this reminds you of my childhood.
So probably classic rock.
Were your parents like metalheads and stuff?
My mom loved classic rock.
Oh,
so we always listened to it in the car, everywhere. But I've had music in my life since I was born.
Right.
And like my mom always tells us like, you were in your car seat and we were singing this song 3-part harmony with your sister, and it's like, all right, so it's like always been there. And so I played the piano.
Right.
Growing up, I played like in band and stuff.
I played the trumpet growing up.
Nice.
Yeah. And the recorder.
Nice. The recorder doesn't count.
What do you mean? You know how hard it is.
Okay, fine. I played the kazoo.
That's impressive.
I played the flute and the saxophone.
Okay, you're talented.
And the guitar. Okay, I'm not trying to get.
Now you're bragging.
Yeah.
Now you're bragging.
But
That's impressive though. Like being able to play several instruments is completely like even like going from like because you said you said a flute.
Yeah.
Okay, so the flute you're not even you are using what is it, a recorder or whatever, the little reed. I'm sorry, the reed.
Oh, it doesn't have a reed.
It doesn't have a reed. So
No.
even just learning how to blow into that and then being able to blow into a reed with the
Saxophone, yeah.
That's like you're using like different muscles within like your whole like throat and your cheeks and everything. Because I was playing trumpet, so like I know how to like do that trumpet like. Okay, I tried doing it right now, but I haven't done it in a while. But overall, I could do that if I really tried. But yeah, so it's just like that's very impressive. Even playing the piano, like learning how to read notes, like even I learned a little bit growing up, but even like now I'm just like you put me in front of that thing, I don't even know what the hell I'm looking at. But just like learning, work on that
if you want.
We could. I mean, I gotta find my way through this some way, So, I mean. What other instruments did you play? Guitar?
So, yeah, I played the guitar. When I was in school, my sister and my brother and I had a band.
You did? What was it called?
Our first iteration... No, wait. Okay, so I've been in so many bands.
With your brothers and sisters?
So,
or
with my two sisters, we had a band called Charisma, spelled Karisma. And then with my sister and my brother, we were called the Funks.
The Funks?
Yeah. And then with my parents, we were in a band called Streetcar Desire. And then with my sister, again, and our friend, we were in a band called Sonic Soma.
And what did you play and all that?
Guitar, and I sang.
Oh, so you sing.
Mm-hmm.
So if I asked you to sing me something from back then, would you do it?
Sure.
Well, all right, let's say like your most like... It's one song that top of your head. That you can remember.
Forgotten every song that I know.
Wow! All of a sudden.
Hold on. Gotta get up, gotta get out. You broke my heart and made me insane.
Hey. That's good.
Can't dig deeper into this soul. You taught me how to live with the pain. Gotta start a fire to get your attention.
Dude, that's really, really good.
Thank you.
You have a great voice.
Thank you.
It's
like really high pitched and like a baby.
That's very impressive. I was not expecting that.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I think.
No, like it really was. Like that's very impressive.
Thank you.
And you tell me you used to sing during your set sometimes, right? Well, at least during your house sets and stuff.
Yeah. And sometimes techno. Might do that at Tranceport.
I don't know if
No, the promoter said there's gonna be a mic there, so.
Oh, you can get on the mic, dude. I don't know.
Get on the mic.
I don't know if Danny and Anna are gonna approve of it.
I'll talk. Of course, I'll talk to Anna before.
Yeah. Danny's gonna be like, "Why are you gonna go on the mic?"
Don't worry. Trust me. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, if you could. I mean, I don't know how you guys are gonna base off that back to back you guys are gonna have. Well, I guess so everybody knows, Transport Festival, April 14th through 16th in the Mojave Desert. The link will probably be in the description below. Claus and CASKA are playing a special back-to-back set, so be expecting a full-on new rave experience for 3 hours. So get on the tickets, link down below. Come out and support.
Thank you.
But hopefully you guys have the back-to-back, and you guys have like 2 song selection or something like that. That way it gives you the liberty to like find like the perfect song for you to sing on maybe.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm not gonna just like sing over the entire set, just like just some acid off. And then they go No.
Show off your skills.
No. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. But that's overall that's pretty cool. I mean,
thank you.
With so before the whole DJing became a part of your life, did you ever want to become like a singer or rock star singer or anything like that?
That's what I wanted to do since I was young. Just music in some way. I just knew that I wanted to do music.
Right.
And I was always like so frustrated when I'd write songs and then I'd teach all the parts to my bandmates,
Right.
and they fucking would take forever to learn it. So I heard about, Trent Reznor.
I'm sorry, I don't, but okay.
Okay, well, so he, is he 9 Inch Nails? Cut
Okay.
this part out.
Okay.
But anyway. So Trent Reznor, makes his songs, and he produces everything, and he makes it all himself. And I was like, that is what I want to do. But I didn't know what the word producing was.
Mm-hmm.
And then I used to have this old piano at my grandma's house, and it had a floppy disk drive, and you could record like one track, you'd do kick drum, and then you'd do another track, and then that's how it all started. And when I found out I could make stuff that way, I was like, oh, this is it. But in a less cheesy way. I was like, oh,
No, that's
this is what I feel like doing forever.
So since you were young, you're a creator of music. That's really good. I'm just saying this too many times, but that's very impressive. I wasn't expecting all of that. I know you know, for the past year, we've hung out, partied and everything, but it's just I didn't know this whole backstory, and I think it's very beautiful.
Thank you.
I like the whole musical background behind it, behind yourself, I should say.
Thank you.
I guess just a couple questions before we close out. Unless you want to touch on anything.
Nope.
No.
I think, I could. Yeah, I think there was a part of my life where I had to step back from pursuing music.
Okay.
And I just needed to find it on my own terms, I think, instead of what everybody else thought that I should be doing with it.
Right.
So that was also good, and I pursued ballet for a while.
Oh, right, ballet.
And that.
Did you go to school?
What?
Did you go to college after high school?
I did a little bit, and then I dropped out, and then I did more, and then
I'm on the same club.
Nice.
Don't worry about it.
But I just finally got my degree.
I don't got that, but
That's okay. You don't need it. It's worthless.
But that's good. Congratulations. As long as you stay devoted to whatever you set your mind to, that shows a lot. Overall, I've known people who've dedicated 4 years of their life, got their degree, and they're not even doing it.
Mm-mm.
You're doing something else.
Most people are
Yeah, but I think that for me, it shows that those people could put their head on something and just go for it.
That's true.
So
that's
I think
a good way of looking at it.
That's the way I see it. Instead of being, oh, you're just jumping from thing to thing and you're not even doing this. I'm like, no, well, obviously they're not doing it because of one thing or the other.
Yeah.
Of course you're not gonna spend X amount of money and not try to do it. Obviously they found another passion elsewhere.
Yeah. Also, I think it's totally a legitimate thing to be inspired or called by something else and then switch gears and pursue that for a little bit. Mm-hmm. And if you find out that you love that, that's awesome. Mm-hmm. If you find out that, well, this isn't actually what I thought it was for me, and then you change again. And
right. Where would you see yourself if you didn't become a musician or an musician?
A musician. I almost said a piano player. Not a musician. I'd probably do art, maybe. I thought about pursuing traditional art.
You just didn't see yourself being in a desk job or
hell no,
or being a freaking lawyer or whatever.
Hell no. I do like math and science.
Nerd.
Yeah. Math and science always came really hard to me.
Right.
But I had to work really hard at it. But when you get it, it's like, oh yeah, I understand.
I was very I was very good at math growing up.
Nice. Okay.
In 6th grade, I was already taking Algebra 1.
Nice.
And I went to separate school.
Mm-hmm.
But somewhere in between 6th grade and 8th grade,
you lost it.
I think
you lost your focus. Sorry.
I think I lost my focus more than anything. I couldn't say I lost everything because even in high school, Like my first the first like semester, I would do great, like in all my classes, only because I knew I had to have good grades to play soccer. So since
and then once you got that, you're like,
yeah, so like
whatever.
once that one, I just fucked it all up. So I'm just like, that was like my routine most of my life, you know, when it came to like high school.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, I was never a studious person. I mean, obviously, like English, I passed very easily. History, if I had the right history teacher, I loved history.
Yes.
So it's just like,
I was so lucky to have good teachers growing up.
that's very good.
Yeah.
I'd had, some of them were shitty. And then some of them, I just didn't believe they were so good to me at the very end. They're like, dude, just show up, take the fucking test, and I'll pass you. Like,
nice.
I'm just like, I'll give you a D-, but like, I'm going to pass you. You know, I'm just like, fuck yeah. You know, just like having those opportunities growing up, like kind of just like you see that people are cool. You know, not like, but at the same time, being responsible of your shit is like super important. And being able to learn that at a young age, I think that like, you know, kind of like, could define your future very, very easily. You know, what's your end game with CASKA?
I mean, there's no in game. I don't know how to phrase this. Basically, right now, I'm just seeing how far I can take it, and I just want to make music and be proud of what I create and keep learning, and hopefully be able to release on some dream labels, play at some dream shows and festivals.
So you put it out there, like what labels would you like to be on?
I can't tell you that because when it doesn't happen, it's going to be embarrassing. No, okay, I'm just kidding.
No, let's say like some people do say like if you put it out there, especially on something like this, you're kind of forced to like really work for it because you put it out there. But even then, if it doesn't happen, it's not like saying that like, oh, you didn't accomplish like your ultimate goal.
You failure.
Obviously, it's a dream, but it's not like it's not the end game if you don't get there.
Yeah, I think, I don't really have like an end game. I just have like a vision of where I want to be right now, like what I want to work towards.
Okay.
And I think that's constantly evolving.
5 years from now, what country are you going to be playing at?
Fucking
all over the world?
Yeah, like Germany, Berlin, in there, and at Belgium, playing there with friends. That would be dope.
That'd be sick. That'd be dope playing with dope.
It'd be dope playing with dope.
All right, now to close off the interview with a couple questions. If you were a
giraffe.
How did you know I was going to ask that? How did you
That's
know?
what everybody asks me.
I know. It's very obvious, though. But if you're a rave animal, which one would you be?
Rave animal?
Yes.
What's that?
Do you think a giraffe would be pretty... Do you think a giraffe describes the way you party?
If I could describe how I party, it would be like giraffe, yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. I think I could see that being you. I think I partied with you a couple times.
Oh, just a couple.
Just a couple times.
I don't know. I guess I'm tall.
You are tall. I mean, your average tallness. I don't know how to say that. I mean, it's
average tallness. I
mean, I don't know. I mean, the only couple friends I have are like my height, so it's like it's not like weird.
I think maybe I'd be like an octopus.
You just want to go over here. You just want to go over there.
I do that. I think I have like attention deficit problems, but it's more like I'm always like.
Yeah, that's very true. You are very flowy.
Yeah. But also, I don't know. Maybe I'd just be some magical creature that.
I guess.
I don't like this question.
Okay, we can take it out. Why? I mean, it was you're kind of an octopus, but it'll work.
Yeah.
But over your whole, I mean, you had a very like long, like artistic life since the beginning. What do you tell yourself in certain moments where you're like, oh, I need to pick myself up right now?
Yeah.
What's like your go-to?
So I've always had a problem with comparison.
Right.
And I think that can be really tough. If you're looking at somebody and you're like, oh, why am I not at that place yet? I think it's good that to remind myself that everybody has their own path. So like my path, maybe it started at a different time or I started in a different place. I have different experiences than other people, but like it's mine and it's not wrong. Lost my train of thought.
No, it's fine. I mean, you're just talking about like comparison.
Yeah.
And I mean, it does make sense, you know, to have a reality check. You know, I say a lot where like, I don't say this a lot, but I think I every time I look at myself in the mirror, I reassure myself who I'm looking at in the mirror because that's who you are. You're nice. Seeing yourself with no filter. Can you see yourself and be like, all right, well, this is what I'm doing, and be honestly accept what you're doing? Like it's when I say when people lie, it's like, do you have the audacity? Yeah, you could lie to me, lie to you, lie whoever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
But when you wake up and look at that fucking mirror, that's who you're lying to. Will you be able to lie to that person?
Yeah.
You know, and if you are, then you're fucking sick-minded because like you're willing to lie to yourself to feel something good.
That's true.
And that's not healthy. You know?
Yeah.
But I think that's where I'm coming from when it comes to that.
I think one thing is that, like, since I've found, like, I feel like I found exactly where I want to be, and I'm enjoying the process, and I'm enjoying where I am at each step of the path. I feel like I haven't been comparing myself as unhealthily as I have in the past.
Right.
Just more like seeing people and being like, yeah, I can do that. I can get there. That's totally achievable. I just need to keep working and believe in me and what I'm doing. And
that's huge. I think believing in what you're doing is huge. Like, because you could do things and not care for them, you know, and like just like a daily person who doesn't have an artistic life, go to their job that they hate, and like go to the job that they dislike, or go hang out with these people that I'm just like, well, I don't even know why the fuck I'm hanging out with these people. Like, I don't even know why I'm doing all these things. Like have a purpose. Like if that's why sometimes like being an artist is a very good path to take, because it shows you a way to express yourself. And in that sense, it's like you believe in what you're putting out there. You have to believe in what you're putting out there, or else you wouldn't be putting it out there.
Yeah.
You know,
it feels authentic and it feels...
Exactly.
It's vulnerable.
Yes. It's very vulnerable in the sense that people will be able to judge you and what you do.
Yeah. And something that means so much to you, you're showing it to people and they can just take it and have any opinion, and you're like, you just have to be confident in who you are.
Yeah, and I think in this day and age, it's so hard not to look at the comments. You know, it's so hard not to like see your likes and see all this and stay updated on what's looking what and where's looking where, and it's just like,
and people say the stupidest things.
Yeah, and
but,
it
you know,
I fall to it sometimes too, where like I've done a couple things in my life and people have made comments and I'm like, fuck, they might be right. But in reality, it's like, no, they weren't right. Like they might have been in the sense giving you advice to maybe correct yourself in some sense, but the path that you're taking is correct still. You know, me growing up trying to do this, trying to tell my mom and explain to her like, hey man, I want to try to do podcasts, and she's like, what's a podcast? Like, how are you gonna make money off of that? And me telling some of my friends saying like, them telling me the same thing, how are we gonna make money off of this? And I'm like, well, dude, it's a fucking process. Like, we got to start, and like, we'll start here, start the podcast, start doing this on a daily thing. We'll get ad revenue in the future. We'll start making merch and selling merch and doing shows. It's all
a process, like anything.
You know, like we have to. And it was so foreign in this industry, and specifically like doing podcasts like this. It's still foreign. Like you could find very few podcasts that do this, and it's just like, in some sense, they just do like a 20-minute interview and then they put the music on. And I didn't want this to be that. Like I wanted this to be a genuine conversation between you and I, and for people to learn who you are. And I could care less if people know about me right now. You know, this is all about supporting the local scene, supporting you, supporting anybody who's willing to talk about things, because whoever listens to this, whether they're a fan, they're going to get closer to you. and they're gonna be like, oh well, I'm gonna get
real close.
not like that, but like get close to you.
Get close to hug.
You know, like, you know, just like maybe in the future we could get more into depth about certain stories in your life that could potentially change people's lives, you know, because I'm sure you've gone through depression and I've gone through depression.
Oh, big time.
There's things that I would like to talk about eventually on the podcast, but I don't know. I'm usually sometimes reluctant to talk about those things because
It's hard.
It's hard. Also, I don't want to be so open, and then
It's
but
hard
at the same
to be
time,
open to just strangers.
Exactly. But at the same time, this podcast is going to show me a lot about myself. So I'm learning even with you right now.
And with like mental health, I think it's so important to be open about those things, or receptive, so that like it's a thing that people have and struggle with, and it shouldn't be so stigmatized.
Yeah, I think that's a great word right there, stigmatized. Because it's very true, because you think, oh, I'm an artist, or I'm a DJ, I'm behind the booth, I'm in front of like 100, 200, 1,000 people.
Why am I not happy all the time?
Yeah, that's your point of view, like, because that's what you're going through in the moment. But for other people that are seeing it in the outside, like, oh, this guy might be having the best life of his time of his life. Yeah. And in reality, it's like, no, he's probably going through some really shitty moments, but he's putting it all together, you know, coming to the show and making you guys have the great time, you know. So it's just like, that's very important to talk about, even if it's difficult. Like, if anybody has anything they want to say, like, send a message to Music or Noise, make it anonymous or however you want to do it. But I'm just like, I'll give you an avenue to express yourself in a way that, like, you know, I'll be respectful. If you need me to delete it, you could do the new vanish mode as well. If you just want to send it out, just so I could just see it, and at least you're able to express yourself and be heard. You know, I mean, there's an avenue there for Music or Noise. I mean,
that's cool. I like that.
You know, so I mean, I think it's very important to help
also
people.
Send Daniel Albert things and be like, hey, you look silly.
No, don't do that. Yeah. Daniel Albert. I think you guys are the only ones who know me like that.
All right.
Which is weird.
Dalbert.
No.
Well, how do you be?
How do I be where?
On this podcast.
How am I going to be on this podcast?
No. How are you here? What do you call yourself?
I guess I've had all the names in this one. I've called myself Albert. I've called myself Daniel. Like, I have my rave name is Suave.
Ooh, Suave.
Yeah, because like I used to like dress up. Not like dress up, but like I used to just kind of dress like I'm going to the club to raves. So that's how I used to dress. Now I just all black.
I mean, me too.
Black on black. You know, that's the move.
I go in my closet and I'm like, just looking at it, it's just like a black chunk, and then I have to look at each T-shirt and be like, all right, what is this? Because they all look the same.
I know. Then you already have them by like shaded blacks. You're like, oh, this is a little lighter. I'll wear this one when it's spring. You know, because it's a light black. It's not like a dark black.
Okay, I'm not that deep into it.
Hey, I got that. I got a lot of black shirts.
Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, I guess just to finish that last question, what would be some advice you'd give a struggling artist?
I think make stuff for yourself and keep creating and keep finishing your work and believe in what you're making. Because if you like something, somebody else is also going to like it. And no matter what you make, there are always going to be people who don't approve or don't like it for whatever reason, but just keep doing you.
Hell yeah. Keep on doing you. You heard it here from CASKA herself. I was going to call you the other name right now.
No. Just say no.
But yeah, you heard it here from CASKA herself. Thank you for being here. I appreciate.
Thank you so much for having me.
I appreciate you coming here and being my first guest overall.
I mean, I was really nervous, but
we got there.
It also just feels like we're just hanging out. So
yeah, that's good.
And then with slight like jitteries.
It's fun. It's fun.
Like I'm a scared dog.
Like your dog. What's his name?
Samwise.
Rufus.
God.
No.
Plundo. I decided that anytime any stranger asks me, "Oh, what's his name?" I just make up like Sir Chieftain the Third, just on the spot.
Oh God.
My
Your dog is be so mad when he finds out.
he doesn't know.
Dude.
Just a stranger, a person looks at him and he's like, "This is the best day of my life."
He's very playful, I guess.
Yeah. And he's happy and gentle. He's a good boy. He's my best boy.
Oh God. Man, it's been, like I said, it's been a pleasure to have you here. It's been crazy adventure with you. Fucking so happy you've been out to Georgia.
Yeah,
so happy
that was so fun playing with VCL.
VCL, that's so
his set, that was like one of the best sets I've ever seen. I was watching him just closely studying what he was doing, and I was like, oh, yeah. I picked up some of the things, tried it out in my set, looked it up, maybe did it well a couple of times, but man, that was really cool. That was cool.
That's sick. I mean, like I said, it's been a crazy adventure with you.
Keep interrupting you, but I'm so glad that you're in my life and that you've been part of this.
I know it's very fun, and I'm excited to see where we're gonna go with this.
Me too.
Hopefully, we get to Europe ASAP.
Oh yeah,
by next year.
Oh, it's gonna happen.
Let's go.
Be prepared.
Anything you want to? Any shout outs? Anything you want to say at the end? Any thank yous?
Thank you. I want to thank. I want to thank my dad and my sister for believing in me, and Kirby and Dalbert and Danny and Anna for all believing me and making like this community that I feel so safe and inspired to be part of. Is that so lame?
Well, there you go. There you have it. It's a wrap. This is the first episode of Music or Noise.
You have to wrap it. This is the first episode of Music or Noise.
Hey,
okay, I'm
gonna put that in as a intro. That's the intro.
That's gonna be your theme song.
That's gonna be the theme song right there. But yeah, all right. No. Well, it's a wrap. I don't even know how to wrap this up. But anyways, it was great having you here.
Thank you.
Any shows coming up? April 14th, 16th, you have
Transport
Festival.
And then May 6th, I'm playing for Technofam.
And that's another one, back to back. With Claus.
Mm-hmm.
And Music or Noise, people, we're going to be dropping the mix on Monday. Well, if you hear this, it should already be out. I don't even know why I'm saying Monday. But Music or Noise is going to be dropping
time travelers.
Music or Noise is going to be dropping their first Music or Noise music podcast. I don't even know.
I'm very confused.
I'm so confused about this too. I guess I could
music a lot, and I like music, but now I'm lost.
I don't even people. If you made it all the way back here, thank you.
Thank you for listening.
Anyways, you'll probably get the notification on Instagram about us dropping the music podcast with CASKA. I don't even know how to fucking end this. All right, peace.
Peace late.